The children of Sean Diddy Combs are speaking out for the first time since their father's arrest last week.
In the struggle together, son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I called like Jay-Z Theo or something. Is he like your uncle kind of low-key?
Yeah, that's my uncle right there.
You got some powerful uncles.
His son, Christian, aka King Combs, is now being sued, just like his father is. A woman filed a lawsuit against King, alleging that in late 2022, right before New Year's Eve, King assaulted her on a yacht.
Just watching it and just knowing that it's all coming to an end, 20 years of hit, it's just crazy.
No, I said it wasn't funny. I just like, that was traumatic.
It sounds like there's major drama unfolding in Diddy's family. Reports suggest that his son is reaching out, claiming to feel like he's being treated more like property than family. Imagine being surrounded by wealth and fame, but feeling trapped and voiceless. The streets are buzzing with whispers that there's a lot more beneath the surface, and this might be a glimpse into the pressures and complexities of growing up in a powerhouse like Diddy's empire. It's giving Daddy Dearest vibes with a twist that could shake the image of the hip-hop mogul as we know it. Stay tuned. This tea is just getting brewed.
Well, first I want to say to this young man, before somebody take his head off, because see, that's that new school bull crap that these kids out here, they easy to fly off their mouth with that. You don't invite a man to your private. You don't invite a man to your private unless you doing the Diddy. If two men lay down, how many homos get up? Let me tell you, young man, 2 of them. You understand? So don't invite a man to your private, because that man will see you and take your head off. Especially somebody like 50. You don't send or let a boy do a man's job. I don't know if he need that type of attention or he want that type of attention. Evidently he do.
It sounds like Diddy's son is living a life that seems perfect on the outside, but inside, it's a different story. Imagine having all the wealth and luxury in the world, living in a mansion, wearing designer clothes, and traveling in private jets, but still feeling trapped. The streets are talking, and it's clear that even the glitz and glamour can't mask the tension and suffering of those in the celebrity world. It's like being caught in a luxurious cage, where every move is controlled and the pressure of expectations weighs heavily. Diddy's son is starting to feel the pinch, and it's not just about wanting freedom. It's about the emotional and psychological toll that this kind of life can take. It's like being trapped in a diamond-studded straitjacket, where the very success of your family can feel suffocating instead of liberating.
So alleged audio, number 1, defendant, Christian Combs. Yo, it's shot o'clock. Plaintiff, Grace, no, I'm not doing shots. Christian. Defendant, Christian Combs. Everybody, we gotta take a shot. Audio 2, plaintiff, I'll just put the ledge. That's Grace. Defendant, Christian, no, take the whole thing. Plaintiff, no, you will take it as well. Christian, take the whole shot. Plaintiff, I'm only doing it as long as you take it as well. Christian, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not taking nothing. Please take the shot. You are drugging me? Plaintiff says. Christian, take the shot. Hey, yo, play another beat one time, because now, it's interesting. Why not give the whole audio? It bugs me, but still, enough in here is strange. But I don't know why it's cut, but apparently then cuts, and then we hear Cassie's Me and You featuring P. Diddy and Young Jock playing in the background as then this SA happens on the plaintiff. Cassie, this is not an offer. Christian, you said what? Plaintiff, I can't. I'm swapping out. I can't do it. I'm sorry, darling. Christian, no, we need you. Plaintiff, I'm gonna stop. I have to go. Honestly, I'm like already losing sleep. I have to go now. Now, it's important just to remind everybody, she's been doing the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. This is at the end of her shift. She is there to take care of her A-list clients on this yacht. That's what the job is. The bosses, everybody need to apply. Make sure that these A-list clients are doing well. Her client is Sean Combs, and now Sean Combs' son. and she's being pressured into this to stay, to drink, to do all this stuff. She's trying to get out of the room. You're the best one on this ship, though, Christian says. What do you mean? She responds. Christian, who's going to replace you? Who's going to replace me? Defendant Christian, F that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? Plaintiff, excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. Plaintiff, if I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that, says Grace. Christian, listen, you and everybody in the crew, it's great. Plaintiff, Grace, I can't. I have to go down. I have to go down. Christian, no. Yo, tell me, listen. Grace, what? Christian, like you're just vibing with me the whole time. Like, just say it. Plaintiff, I can't. I promise you, I wish I could, but I can't, unless I say that you guys requested me. Defendant Christian, yes, who can I talk to right now? Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now. Plaintiff, well, you can take your hand off my ass for the first thing. Now, again, I don't know if there's more audio, why it's selective. Maybe these are just the most important parts, and then it ends. But even so, these clips are hard to justify.
The pressure that celeb kids face is real, and it's been playing out for a while. Take Willow Smith, for example. Her head-shaving moment wasn't just about style. It was a powerful act of reclaiming control in an environment where everything's so tightly managed. And Lindsay Lohan? She spent years trying to break free from the chains of fame and her family's expectations. But it wasn't easy. Out with Diddy's son dropping that cryptic post about the price of greatness. And your soul, it feels like a loud cry for help. This isn't just a celebrity seeking attention. It's someone who's caught between the dream and the nightmare of their family's empire. The whispers about pressure and expectations are growing louder, and it feels like Diddy's shadow is so huge that his son can't even breathe, let alone find his own identity. And this is only the beginning. There's more to uncover, layers of family drama and hidden struggles we've yet to see. The Combs family might look flawless from the outside, but what's really going on behind those gates? That's the million-dollar question. And trust, the truth is going to be even more complicated than we imagined.
But 50 is the wrong dude that you want to do that type of attention, get that kind of attention from, bro. In the infamous words of Waka Flocka, that nigga go hard in the paint. And I don't believe that this cat would even put out some trash like that and really didn't know what he was doing. He's teasing the federal government. And I told y'all, the Southern District of New York do not play. So King Kong just put another battery in their back. And you see after he did that shit, something get leaked to the press. Do you notice that, right? As soon as he did that dumb shit, talking about, well, we did this and we did that. We had this over here, y'all went to the wrong house. Some went to, he said, well, we're gonna show you how wrong we are. Yo, CNN, run this. Action, roll them. Don't play with the feds, bro. Because you got to realize this. They got a lot of time. All they got is time. Yo, they going to sit there, people sitting up there and they want something. See, people like a fix. They need that fix real quick. They want them to hurry up and charge Diddy with something or see what they got on him. The feds gonna take their time. May take 6 months, may take a year, may take 2 years. They got up to 3 years to bring their case up. They got 3 years. So they checking everything about them. They gonna dot all the I's and cross all the T's.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people feel like he played a part in that video coming out. You know, him making a comment saying that, you know, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was walling out, man.
Yeah, I think he was just bullshitting. I don't believe he bought the house next door. Because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government gonna run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York, but they did a raid in New York too.
You're absolutely right. Money might be buying silence, but it's not buying happiness in the Combs household. Behind all the glitz and glam, there's a deeper story unfolding. Diddy flexing his #1 dad status on social media, posting about family vacations and father of the year moments, might look like perfection on the outside. But there's something a little off when it starts to feel like he's playing a role, trying to maintain this picture-perfect image of family, while the pressure behind the scenes is suffocating. The streets are definitely talking, and they're saying Diddy might be less of a supportive father and more of a dictator, with expectations so high they could crush anyone under their weight. Instead of encouraging his kids to carve out their own path, it seems like he's trying to mold them into versions of himself without making them go through the same grind and struggle that built his empire. It's like he wants the end result, the fame, the power, the success, but without letting them experience the blood, sweat, and tears that made it all possible. In this designer onion, each layer peels back to reveal a different kind of pressure, a world where the price of success isn't just financial, but emotional and psychological too. And it's starting to feel like that cost is too high, even for Diddy's own flesh and blood.
Well, if it is clear as day, and that's not an automatic, that's not a given. Until we actually hear the audio, there are any number of ways to potentially attack this dialogue that's been portrayed here and that has been alleged to have taken place. The audio might not be clear. There might not be a bulletproof way of identifying who is doing the speaking and exactly what they're saying and so forth. And it gets all back to the question of authentication, where if this is played in court or even before it's played in court, somebody's going to have to identify what was the source of this information, who made the recording, who has kept it between the time it was made and the time it's played in court. How do we authenticate and how do we prove that the person who's alleged to be speaking is actually the person who is speaking? All of these kinds of things all have to be hashed out in court. At the end of the day, though, the jury, presuming, I believe there's a jury demand in this case, it's going to be a jury who sits and says, hey, we believe that these are the actual people that are alleged to be on this recording. We believe that this did actually take place. It's not AI. It's not any other kind of, manipulation. And taken within the totality of all the circumstances and the totality of the evidence, we think it's more likely than not that this actually took place, and therefore we're going to give a win to the plaintiff in this case, this woman who has brought the lawsuit. So it's not an automatic by any stretch of imagination, but if it can be authenticated,
it gets through that vetting. If this is real audio, not a good look for Christian in either
No,
jury.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. If it passes the sniff test, then it's potentially very, very problematic. You're absolutely right.
And the rest of this case, we don't have as much evidence. It's going to be a he said, she said. But this type of damning audio, as Kim, you've said it before, in a civil case, right, it's only 51% need to agree. And I would imagine, Kim, your thoughts in reading this transcript now, because we've only seen sort of snippets through NBC, but in reading this transcript now, this is pretty hard to come back from if it's real, right?
Yes, I would agree. I mean, if the question is, was she touched without her consent? And, did she voice that she did not want to be touched in that manner? If this audio is authenticated, it's pretty clear that no, she did not want this interaction. This is SA, period.
The pressure on Diddy's son is on another level, for sure. Being a celebrity kid is tough, but when your father is a living legend, it's an entirely different game. It's not just about trying to live up to his legacy, it's about surpassing it, and that's a lot for anyone to handle. Diddy's shadow is huge, and trying to find your own identity while constantly being compared to him sounds like a real battle. Sherry Blake's perspective on narcissistic parenting is really insightful. When parents see their children as an extension of themselves, it becomes hard for the kid to have their own voice or dreams. In the spotlight, that dynamic is amplified, and the weight of it is even harder to escape. The rumors about the big blow-up between Diddy and his son over career choices are juicy but troubling. Apparently, Diddy wasn't on board with his son wanting to explore a path outside of the family business. Threats about cutting off financial support? That's intense. It's giving my way or the highway energy, but when the highway is paved with gold, walking away isn't so easy. It makes you wonder just how much freedom Diddy's son truly has to forge his own path when the cost of stepping out of line is so high.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that raid. I only heard about the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Combs' comments.
My man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years, and I had the opportunity to see HIDA. It's a place, whereas they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. Whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
Some people feel like, Diddy, he played a part in that video coming out too. Him being spotted with Stevie J, smiling at the camera. A lot of people blame him too.
But bro, what did I tell you? He's such a narcissist that he has to be in the public. Listen to me. They just caught him on TMZ today or yesterday or something like that, walking out and about. Now, I'm not telling the man what to do, what he couldn't do. I don't know if the government told he couldn't travel nowhere, he couldn't be nowhere and stuff like that. But why are you gonna go outside your own compound where TMZ and every other place is waiting on you? You're not gonna get any public sympathy. That's why he had that picture of him and his father around his neck. You're not gonna get no sympathy. You're done. Stick a fork in it. Call it a quit. Apologize to Big's mother for putting her son in that position that he loses his life. It's crazy. He better do a Russell Simmons.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that, man. They saying that he gonna pull a Russell Simmons.
Well, anything's possible, bro, but I don't know if the feds will allow him since they got an open investigation on him.
You're absolutely right. Choosing between your own dreams and living up to a parent's legacy is just the surface of the struggles these kids face. The price of privilege comes with a whole lot of baggage, and in the world of fame, it's not just the glitz and glam. The mental health toll is real. Anxiety, depression, and the never-ending spotlight that never lets them be just themselves. For celebrity kids, especially in the hip-hop world, it's not all champagne wishes and caviar dreams. It's like living in a gilded cage, where every moment is under scrutiny, and the flashbulbs act as the bars that trap them. Sure, they've got the wealth and the luxury, but what's the point if you can't find peace within yourself? Being judged constantly, trying to figure out who you are while the world watches and waits for you to slip up, it's a pressure no one should have to deal with, especially not in their formative years. When you're the child of a mogul like Diddy, the stakes are higher than ever. You're not just expected to live up to a family name, you're expected to surpass a legacy that's larger than life. Trying to step out of that shadow feels impossible. The constant comparisons, the relentless pressure to be perfect, it's a lot for anyone, let alone a young person trying to carve their own path. It's like they're playing a game they never signed up for, and they can't hit pause.
4 of Combs' 7 children writing on Instagram, "We have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well as about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out. Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not, and anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. A 60-page unverified book published earlier this month claimed to be the collection of diaries of Porter, who died at the age of 47 in 2018. The children, who don't mention their father's arrest in the statement, go on to write, "Our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories." The message coming as another accuser goes public with allegations against Combs. Talia Graves claims in a civil lawsuit Combs and his bodyguard drugged, bound, and raped her in 2001 and filmed it.
It's a pain that reaches into your very core of who you are and leaving emotional scars that may never fully heal.
The 54-year-old Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges he led a criminal conspiracy that abused women.
You're absolutely right. Celebrity kids face struggles that most people can't even imagine. That study from the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry is eye-opening. Celeb children are twice as likely to struggle with anxiety and depression compared to their peers, and the pressure they're under can lead to substance abuse issues as well. Fame might look glamorous on the outside, but it comes with a lot of hidden struggles, mental health problems being one of the biggest. As for Diddy's son, the tea is indeed hot. Word on the street is that he's been battling anxiety so severe it's like he can't catch his breath, and depression, hitting him harder than Diddy's beats. Behind those designer shades, it's a much darker reality. And now there's talk that he might be seeking therapy quietly, maybe even considering rehab. It's all speculation, but when you hear whispers like this, you have to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And with all these rumors swirling, it seems like things are far from perfect in the Combs family.
And Aaron Katursky joins me now with more on this. Aaron, how significant is it to have a new accuser making claims like this on camera as Diddy's facing these criminal charges?
Well, look, she is detailing in an anguished appearance with her attorney, Gloria Allred, what she said happened to her in 2001 and the lasting impact that she said it had on her, and coming after Sean Combs' arrest on criminal charges perhaps lends some additional credibility because he's already been charged in a racketeering conspiracy that sought out women for abuse.
She's also filed a civil suit. Could that affect the criminal case at all?
The civil suit is at least the 12th filed against Sean Diddy Combs, and the first one from last November by Cassie Ventura is really what touched off the criminal case that led to Diddy's arrest and subsequent not guilty plea on the 3 criminal counts. Without the civil suit, there are probably not criminal charges against Sean Combs, but all the civil cases are now likely to be paused while the criminal case takes priority.
Now, some of Combs' children issued this statement on Instagram, speaking out in defense of their mother, but they didn't really mention their father. What do you make of that?
It was an interesting statement coming a little more than a week after Combs' arrest here in New York. And the children seemed quite protective of Kim Porter's legacy because there's this 60-page unverified manuscript online that claims to be Kim Porter's diary entries or a compilation of some of her thoughts. And the children said that it just isn't true. And they didn't want her and her memory commingled with him and the criminal case that he's now facing.
And what's next in that case now?
He's back in court in early October. For now, he is being housed in protective custody at a federal jail in Brooklyn. He's in a dormitory-style open housing cell with Sam Bankman-Fried, among.
The smoke might just be signaling the start of a major fire. Diddy's son trying to break free from the golden handcuffs of fame is a move that could shake up the whole industry. Growing up in a family like the Combs clan is like living a reality show where everything is scripted and your every move is planned for you. How do you find your own voice and write your own story when your entire life has already been mapped out? It's like trying to escape a music video you didn't audition for, searching for the director's cut button, but there's no easy exit. Breaking free from all that pressure and control isn't just a matter of walking away. In a family as powerful and influential as the Combs, it's not just about leaving. It's about the consequences of trying to make your own way. Whispers are growing louder about Diddy's son trying to cut the strings, possibly even making secret meetings with lawyers and high-profile industry figures to start something on his own. But let's not forget, Diddy isn't going to let his heir walk away without putting up a fight. The empire he's built is huge, and he's not going to lose his crown prince without a major battle. The question now is, will Diddy's son find a way to break free, or will he stay tied to the life his father built for him?
And it's really sad that, the whole situation of this, as you read through the entire lawsuit and you kind of see the environment that she was placed in and how she was set up in this place where she was probably terrified to say anything. And at the end of it all, based on the lawsuit, it does sound like she did lose her job. It impacted her personal life, her relationship, her family life, everything. She lost so much because of this incident, if all of this is to be true. So I really hope that if this all is true, that the audio can be authenticated, because I think it's going to be crucial in her case.
And just for full, so I want to go visit. Audio was recorded by Jones, allegedly. NBC News has heard 2 clips of audio transcribed in the suit, purportedly from the night, but has not verified who was recorded, which is important, as John said. Again, we need to vet this. You don't need to go through that sort of legitimizing it. But there allegedly is audio that's claiming to be this. And it's interesting there, as I go back and read that, only 2. They only heard 2, and there are... I guess it is 2.
Are the 2.
It's 1 and then the longer one. Okay, got it. So there's only the 2. So they've heard it. This audio apparently exists. I would, Mr. Blackburn, share it more. What's going on? If you're giving it to one press outlet, give it to other press outlets, because if this is real, we need to get the word out. If it's not, why are you sharing it? Or, if it's private, why are you sharing it with certain outlets? I hope they do, so we can definitively figure out, is this real or not? Because I think it's important information to know. So Diddy's lawyer slammed this lawsuit against son, expected the same kind of manufactured lies. Youngest son, Christian, slams, the lawyers behind slammed it. Again, they're going after Tyrone Blackburn. And I want to connect that because the last suit was kind of sloppy at times. Is that going to affect this? Do you think this one plays better because it's got the transcript and board? Or is there a version of this where this could be a shakedown by this Blackburn attorney who has had previous grievances? Does any of that come into play for you, John?
Well, I'm assuming that he's gotten a little bit sharper and a little bit smarter since he filed the case in New York, the Little Rod case. I mean, and that was a little unusual. All of a sudden, he's had to go back several times and file a complaint, then file a First Amendment complaint. First amended complaint, then a second amended complaint, which somewhere along the line there was one or more procedural problems where you typically have to ask the court for leave or permission to file an amended complaint. Apparently that was not done in the way that the court expected it to be done. Most courts have their federal rules of civil procedure, and then there are usually some local rules as well. Somehow he managed to run afoul of those rules in terms of asking the court to file an amended complaint and so forth. And the reason he was filing amended complaints, I mean, for instance, the first, I think it was the first amended complaint, had 72 pages, did not mention Cuba Gooding Jr., as I recall. Second amended complaint that he tried to file was up close to 100 pages, 90 or 100 pages, and all of a sudden it did include Cuba Gooding Jr. And you got to ask yourself, well, you know, why? How did Cuba Gooding Jr. get left out of the original complaint and the First Amendment complaint? Or you know, how did someone that important to the case not get included the first time you went through the exercise? It just is a little bit of a question that, you know, there might be, for all I know, there might be a perfectly legitimate reason, but at the same time, it's a little bit odd.
Yeah, speaking of odd and speaking of Cuba Gooding Jr., again, like here's that portion I found of current plaintiff defendant Combs chartered a yacht, witnessed several A-listers on board, including rappers Redacted, as well as Redacted and Cuba Gooding Jr. And then they go on to talk about how unpleasant he was. And then if you go down to the little footnotes, they're like giving little clues and Easter eggs as to who the redacted people are. A Philadelphia rapper, anyway, it's all very strange to me. So there is still a little bit of a messiness to this lawsuit, you would say, it seems, as we were going through this. The real meat of this is clearly that transcript.
Rebelling against your parents is one thing, but when your father has more connections than anyone could imagine and pockets deeper than the Mariana Trench, it's a whole new level of risk. It's Diddy's son decides to cut ties. He's not just facing disappointment, he's facing potential lawsuits, being cut off financially, and possibly being blacklisted from the industry. It's like David versus Goliath, except Goliath has platinum records, a vodka brand, and a whole empire backing him. But here's the thing. Some celeb kids have managed to break free and make it on their own. Look at Angelina Jolie stepping out of Jon Voight's shadow to become a global icon. Or Miley Cyrus breaking free from Disney's grip to become a force in her own right. It's possible, but it comes at a huge cost. If Diddy's son decides to make a move, there's a lot at stake. First off, the money. He's got trust funds, inherited businesses, and all the perks of being born into wealth. Then there are the industry connections. Diddy knows everyone, and walking away from that is like tossing aside a golden ticket. But here's the kicker. It's rumored that Diddy's got his son locked down tighter than Fort Knox. There are whispers about contracts that make it nearly impossible for him to work in the industry without Diddy's approval, and NDAs that could keep him silent about any family secrets. It's clear Diddy is playing chess while the rest of the world is playing checkers. His son might be the king on the board, but Diddy isn't about to let him get captured. The real question is, will Diddy's son be able to escape the game? Or is he trapped in a move he can't undo?